Join with me today is Juicy. How's it going, Juicy?
Doing well. How are you?
You have a video on your YouTube and you also stream on Twitch, and you are kind of perceived as being pound for pound one of the best Cosmic Crucible players in the game. And so on Monday, a new Cosmic Crucible Season 4 is starting, and right now you can go in game and see the new room rules, which I very much liked. I'm guessing you liked it. Everybody I've talked to likes these new room rules. And so we're going to go through and talk about each room. I just want to say this before we get into it. Largely, this is unknown how this is actually going to play out. Like, there's some mechanics that are just not knowable. And so we're going to have to just speculate. And I'm going to show what I'm going to do on my defense. And you're going to talk about your defense. Does that sound good? All right.
Good.
We're going to skip talking about the global bonuses. And we're also going to skip room 1 because room 1 is largely a non-event and probably should just put your best defensive team there after you've done the other 5 rooms. Would you agree?
Completely agree.
Okay, so we're not going to talk about room 1. Do whatever you want in room 1. Let's go into one of the more exciting rooms, which is room 2, Raid on Crucible, which quite simply is room counts as raid. I think there are 3 options here, which you agree there's 3 options here, right?
Yes, there's 3.
Death Seed, Rebirth, and Bifrost, right? Bifrost. And so walk down which one should be on defense, which one should be at offense, when and which ones you should do. But those are the 3 teams, right?
Yeah, so out of the 3 teams, I think the first one that you kind of mark off the list is Death Seed, because Death Seed's better on offense. Death Seed is the best player across the board on offense. Right, it can beat other teams in other rooms, and so that leaves you with Bifrost and Rebirth. If your Bifrost is as big as your Rebirth, I would put Bifrost in here. But if your Bifrost is smaller, I would not put Bifrost here. I put Rebirth. The reason why is you have so much offense. If you have a 1 million Bifrost in comparison to a 1.6 Rebirth, you have teams like Death Seed going to come in there, Eternals are going to come in there, and they're just going to blow them up. As opposed to Rebirth is going to be a lot tankier. We've had a longer time to have them gain stars and gear them up, as opposed to Bifrost, right?
All things being equal, if we had like monstrous teams, Bifrost is going to be the best team here. I have like a 900 or a 1 million Bifrost, so I opted to put my 1.5 million Rebirth here and just put Death Seed on offense. Let's go to room 3. Room 3 has Cosmic Hero, and I think there's 2 logical choices for this room. Run that down real quick.
So your main 2 teams you got is Nowhere and Infinity Watch. The same thing happens. If your iWatch is bigger than your Nowhere, you're going to want to put iWatch in here. If your Nowhere is bigger or equivalent size, then I would put Nowhere in there.
All right, so yeah, my Nowhere is 1,047,000. I thought about putting this in here just because it's close, but my Infinity Watch is 1.1. So I don't know. What would you say on the difference there? They're very similar, right?
It depends if you're going to pull any of the other teams off of defense. I think iWatch fits in any room as a blank room.
Mm-hmm.
So whereas Nowhere, I think, has to be in this room.
The advantage to putting Nowhere here, I think, also is that we haven't really played against it on defense, right? And so, like, Infinity Watch is kind of vanilla. Like, last season, most people put Infinity Watch on defense. So, like, this is not going to be any surprise. I think probably Nowhere is better than Infinity Watch. I haven't made up my mind what I'm going to put there. All right, let's go into the most interesting room, in my opinion, room 4. And I actually don't really know how this is going to play out. First part is not really a thing. On turn, if a character has taunt, gain offense up. But it's the second part. On turn, all allies with offense up, gain assist. Run through the teams that are going to take advantage of that offense up, gain assist. Because that could be like a 5-tap, right?
So the main team that I think of is Rebirth with Quicksilver. Every time you hit Captain America, he gives the whole, well, he doesn't give the whole team up. A Winter Soldier does. And then they all have assists now. YA spawns with offense up. Wakanda gives themselves offense up pretty early in the game. I think those are the main 3 that people have mentioned to me. And then Quicksilver has offense up in his kit. So he's just a powerful tune that supercharges anything you put in that room.
All right. So, like, if you're able to put Bifrost in room 2, then on room 4, you could put Rebirth with Quicksilver. Who would you remove? Would it be a U.S.? Yeah, you take out U.S. Agent, right? Because he does nothing without the raid bonuses, right? His kit's all raid-based. I'm going to do Young Avengers here. If you're going to do Wakanda, what would you do for Wakanda?
I would just use Wakanda and then I put Quicksilver somewhere else, like with Darkhold or even with your Infinity Watch just for fun. Something else. I would have put him somewhere else where he gets a little more value. Because
Okay.
Wakanda works better together.
All right. So individual character, Quicksilver is going to be very good in room 4. Young Avengers, Wakanda, and Rebirth would be good in room 4. Now, this here is a very interesting room. There's a Spider-Verse part, and I think this room is going to change when we get Black Cat. Like, what we do here might be very different today than when Black Cat comes to the game, right? And the way that I looked at this room, and I think you agreed with me, is that for me, I want to save Tangled 100% for offense. Like Spider-Weaver and 2099 just seems so good on offense. So that really just left me a hero mutant team. And I went and looked at the passives and it was like, ooh, I can do some fun things with Jubilee. Phoenix gives them a big damage boost, right? And then you got Rogue and Gambit. You did something very different here, but talk about this team and then talk about what you did.
Yeah, so I think that some combination of Jubilee, Beast, Rogue, and Gambit, either you keep Phoenix or you keep Dazzler, dealer's choice. I think that this is probably the stronger of the ULX teams. I chose to pull ULX to offense and put in Infinity Watch in here, and I think put Nowhere in 3. The main reason why is because I think that ULX can still beat every team on this list. Right? They can beat 1, they can't beat 2, but they could beat 3, 4. And so they're just a master key on offense, and I think they're going to get beat pretty handily in 5 because of all the things we have on offense.
Okay, so that sounds right to me. That you could use this as a flex room, keep ULX for offense because that should win in almost any room. So it just depends if you want to go heavily on defense or more on offense. And that's the thing I think as the season goes on that it will change a lot is being able to put more on defense when we fine tune our offense. And we're going to talk about offense here in a minute after we get through room 6. The room 6 is probably one of the scariest rooms. This is kind of like room 5, but better, right? On defense and offense, special abilities cost 2 less. Ultimate abilities cost 2 less. Talk about why Red Hulk and Apocalypse is a mess here.
Yeah, so Red Hulk specials every turn. Every time he specials, he's going to speed up that Apocalypse.
It's that simple. Red Hulk is going to be specialing every turn, beating turn meter to Apocalypse. Oh my goodness. And Apocalypse is going to be popping off ultimates and specials all the time. Like it's going to be a mess, right? This room right here. Now you didn't do this here. Tell me what you did in your room.
So I currently have a Gamma Dorm for the same reason. Red Hulk with 2 lives is just as dangerous as Red Hulk with 1.
And so you're saving Apocalypse for offense then.
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, room 1. I know that there is some opportunity to change your ISO around, but Raiders characters on crit apply minor defense down, on striker wide below 50% health gain, 200% damage. I actually don't think that this room merits like changing ISOs around or, like I guess like Hulk, has some in his kit, below 50% health, he gets a boost. But I think you just need to put your best team that you're not going to use on offense here in room 1.
Yeah, I think that's the correct answer. It's one of those things, if it pops off, it's great. I wouldn't bank on it as a win condition.
All right. And then for me, I have these on defense. Let's just talk about what I have left for offense. I'm going to have some sort of Tangled team, right? I'm going to have some sort of Undying team. I'm going to have some sort of Doom and Dormammu team, right? I'm going to have New Warriors left over. I'm going to have Masters of Evil left over. So I'm going to have a lot left over. What are you going to be using? And I've got Wakanda left over, right? I've got a lot of offensive teams, right? What does that look like for you?
Similarly, right? So I think that this season's going to be, there's too many master keys and not enough locks. And so I have Masters of Evil, I have APOC, I have Unlimited, I have New Warriors, I have Death Seed, and then you have all your power players, your Dorm, your Doom, things like that.
Yeah, Undying. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff. This is by no means going to be a definitive list. For me, we were talking about this a little bit before we started shooting the video, is like, I wish that they would change these room bonuses more frequently. After some point, we do figure it out and it becomes a little bit more predictable and even stale once everybody starts running the same thing. At the start, we're just going to put our best foot forward. Are you excited about it?
Oh, I'm very excited for it. The change is nice.
Yeah. So head over to Juicy's channel if you want to watch his video. Link to that will be in the description. And then you're also on Twitch. Anything you wanted to say before we go?
Again, best of luck in season 4, and look for us in Twitch and YouTube.
Okay, bye for now.